We are like, we are direct straight out of Texas, welcoming Tonia Smith, who takes marketing from the heart and allows women to really boldly spread their message through visibility, through embodiment, and through authenticity. With her lead magnet breakthrough masterclass, she encourages visibility from all angles from a place of authentic magic, from a place of self leadership, from a place of selling is serving, from a place of living your mission and vision, from a place of alignment. Welcome in from Texas, the marketer with the hat, Tonia Smith. Speak to me, sister.
Woohoo! Wow, Jay, thank you for having me on. That was fabulous. I need to have you write my bio.
Come on.
That
Come
was
on.
pretty
We
good.
can organize that off camera. We can organize that. That's no problem at all. Let's get into it. Bold marketing from the heart. What does that mean?
So I think the best way to describe that would be my experience and also what I have found others face. So when you first come online, and I'm an online marketing coach and trainer, and so many times when we come on the online space, it's putting ourselves out there. And I don't know about you, but when I was a little girl and I started acting up and wanted attention, I was told, stop trying to get attention. And so when I first came in that online marketing space, I was like, okay, coming on live, coming on, just showing my picture just seemed wrong.
Mm.
And once I stepped into that boldness of, I have a product, I have a gift, I have a story to tell, and in that space, someone I can help someone else. I need to step boldly in that space. But I'm also a Christian, and I am also a Christian, help people in that space too. Uh, and and so because of that, I feel like stepping boldly in your faith, whatever that is, right? Stepping boldly in faith in that space of what you're called to do.
Wow.
Well, that's where that comes from.
Wow. So good. This is why you get those 5-figure containers. You know what I mean? That insight right there, we could end the podcast right there.
Oh, yeah. It's good, isn't it?
I was just speaking with another Christian business coach, and we were speaking about the whole essence of with the increase in AI and all those sorts of things, it's taking people away from faith to like extrapolations and just like automation, having influencers that are not real people, like all of these sorts of things, which taken away from self, your God-given calling. And that's why I think it's such a beautiful thing in terms of what you said.
I agree, and I think the thing we risk losing is our critical thinking. And so by I teach marketing and I teach AI. I think AI is a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
tool.
yep,
But I
yes.
always encourage my clients, please use your critical thinking. And when we're in a uh, coaching session in a group, I give examples because AI is great. And maybe someday it's going to think for us and we don't even have to think. But I'm going to be sad that day because I think there's beauty in what the human mind can do. And I believe that no matter what AI can do, our brains are a million times better. And so and so I believe if we use AI as a tool, but always question it, always use your critical thinking to say, okay, is this right? Does this feel good? And sometimes that can be your best.
100%.
Yeah, that can
And
be your best measuring stick. Does this feel right? And that's why I think with by teaching and understanding, for in my case, I teach marketing. I teach the foundational aspects of marketing. And if you understand that, then when you're trying to create content with AI, you will say, okay, this is dumb. This is not right. Right. You have that enough knowledge to know. And so just having a little bit of understanding in whatever niche you're in, um, of understanding what the person on the other side is going to be seeing and feeling. Understanding that. And so when AI is not resonating with you, it's probably not going to resonate with your people.
perfect. Let's dig into sales. what does sales mean to you, and how do you convert people into clients using sales? Like with myself, I've dedicated myself to the whiteboard method for the past 4 years, like developing that as a tool to teach, sell. How about yourself? What does sales mean to you?
So used to, sales meant something I avoided. And isn't that interesting that we avoid sales? I just find that fascinating now. And I look back at how much I resisted getting into any kind of business that involves sales. And I see that a lot. I have the client just recently said, okay, well, I do real well on marketing, but my sales, I'm not good at that. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that about any of us. And so the process is very simple. It's and your way, like using the whiteboard is a tool, right? But it's all you have to get people to that. You have to get people to seeing you and spending time with you. So there's got to be a strategy to get
Mm,
the audience to attract the right audience. Because Jay, I'm sure you know if you've probably had people that you showed your your offer to or however your strategy is with your whiteboard, right? And there were some people, if you didn't attract the right ones, they wouldn't be interested. And I think when we make offers and they don't land, the problem usually is we haven't done the background work. Usually offers by the time I was told this one time and I still believe it. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. If they want what you have, you're not going to say the wrong thing. So we get so wrapped up and got to have the right wording. And yes, is it helpful? Of course. But so I would say my sales process is just that attracting the right audience, having a really good system in place where you have the right, maybe a free lead magnet, a free, like I use a masterclass as one of my lead in events. And then from there, you have your offer. Now there could be steps between that and the offer that might be, you could have set up a funnel, an automation. There's all kinds of ways, but it comes down to drawing in the right people and working with just the few that are definitely interested. Because by the time you get them there with that conversation, they're going to be in. And there's really nothing you can say that's wrong because they're ready. They're ready. They're sitting there ready for a solution. They know you've got it. And so there you go. You just make the offer. It doesn't have to be weird. It can be a beautiful, it can be a very beautiful synergy.
can be. I like what you said, where people know, right? People know when they're in the midst of something that works. And, I guess that's why having good content that attracts the ready to buy people is
Mhm.
key. And having conversion events like you have is keys. How do you feel those events of yours? How do you fill up your masterclasses? Yeah, what
How do I feel?
strategies have you got? Yeah, how do you fill them up?
Well, the strategy is, I want to say simple. Um, and maybe I think that is the right word. I think the strategy is simple. And it's simple, simply just inviting and consistently inviting. I think what I've done, I'm going to just tell it myself. What I've done in the past is I would have an idea, I would have a class, or I would have an event or something to bring people in, and then I would move on to something else. I remember doing a workshop. I don't know if it was last year or year before, and it was so full. I mean, it was just very popular. And I
Mm,
didn't take a lot of effort to get people in, and that's goes into, like, having the right title, the right messaging, the right content, the speaking the right message, and that's where I probably, preach on a hill that I'll die on, is messaging is so critical to
it
your marketing,
is
right?
100% correct. Yeah.
So once that's all dialed in and you get this great piece of work that people are actually interested, even if one person is interested, and then what do we do? We, as humans, I know I'm guilty of it. I'm still am. I have to keep myself in check all the time, is I want to pivot and say, well, let me try something else. And if it's not working, or if it's even if it's working, it's like, well, let me try something else. Maybe maybe people want this instead, and I think that's where I help people narrow down narrow down to where we're staying on one thing. So I've been doing my lead magnet masterclass for a while now. And what
How
I've
long?
discovered, huh?
How long has that been? How long?
I want to say I've done the lead magnet class. I think 2 years ago I did an AI. It was it 2 years when AI started just coming out, or was it last year? No, I can't remember. But I did an AI with using AI to create your lead magnet. And but I didn't, and it was popular. And what did I do? I just sat on it. Well, then this year I decided, well, this is what I do. This is the beginning of where I'm helping people, guiding people. And so I got started it this year, and I do twice a week. So I'm not twice a week, twice a month, twice a month.
Oh wow. Okay. Perfect.
Anyway, so how I get people in it is just social media, email marketing,
Okay.
right? Yep.
Yeah. And how many
Con
people roughly show up? 10, 20?
It varies. I
Varies.
usually
Okay.
have about 80. I got like 80 people have registered, and then I usually
Nice.
get a percentage of that. So
Yeah. Okay.
it depends on, I've had as many as six, and then
Okay.
I've had like a couple people, just two people. And so it's really more about how much I promoted. So I can tell there's a definite correlation of when I promote and on my game and when I'm not. And because life happens and there's a flow. And so I would say that what I look at is I can have less people and higher conversion, or I can have a lot of people and not as much conversion. So that's what I look at when I have an attendance.
Amazing. Client results.
Exactly.
Tell me about client results. Like, what type of results do you get for your people through your coaching, before and afters?
So usually probably the biggest result I get for people, um, immediate, is cutting out the noise in their brain.
Oh wow.
So we sit down and we go through their process, what they're doing, what's working, what's not, and then what can we cut out. A lot of
Yes.
times people want to add in, and
Amazing.
I want to cut things out. And when we do that, sometimes I hit a little resistance, because it's hard. It's hard to especially the multi-passionate entrepreneurs, which I think that term is probably um, not as productive for us
Hmm.
as we,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I have many interests, and so I relate to that. But when we cut that out and just focus on one offer and one lead magnet, for example, it could be, and a lead magnet can be so many different things. But when we dial that in, and then all our content is focused on that instead of trying to just come out of anywhere, and just because most people in this space, and I focus mostly on coaches. n- Coaches have a wide variety of things they help their clients with, and in that space, if you try to talk about all of them, it tends to get a little, you're diluting your message. And so we help dial into that message that will serve to to get them to making income instead of just focusing on getting attention. It's not that hard to get attention, even in this space, even in this social media, the way it is, everybody talks about it being crowded. I'm not going to say it's not, but that we can get quite a bit of attention. I mean, think about in the old days, to get attention was a lot more difficult. If you got 200 views on your video, that's 200 views. Now, there's a lot of analytics behind that you want to look at. But I feel like I don't even know. I think I've gone off onto what did you ask me? Come back to what you asked me. I'm just going on.
No, I think you're mentioning some good stuff just in terms of how you client results in terms of like,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
you get them the clarity. I like that
yeah. So that would
because
be the
it's clarity. I think clarity is the most important thing that you could give a client, because I've been on containers where they bombard you with Kajabi videos and 5 or 6 school courses, which is all well and good,
yeah.
but clarity is queen. If someone's clear on their vision, their purpose, and the core emotional driver that will see them walk on broken glass, then that's
Uh-huh.
going to be infinitely more important than a strategy. So yeah.
And the end result is we want to create income. And so if you're not clear, usually that's the thing that's blocking the income. or that you're not, you're all over the place. You know, and if it's a jumbled mess up here, which I'm speaking to the choir here to myself, I mean, that's what I struggled with. That's why I can help people serve in that capacity. But the whole goal is to create the income. And so helping people get their first client, I've done. Helping people make their first 10K, I've done. Like that is the results that we're looking for, but it takes that first step.
Amazing. Let them know like who you typically work with, how they can get in contact with you.
Well, normally I have my clients tend to be coaches, affiliate marketers, network marketers. I've have some helped artists and authors get more visible and go through this process. But I would say my biggest clients, my biggest audience is coaches. And I am on Facebook for sure. My website is toniasmith.com, and I spell my name weird, Tonia. So it's Tonia Smith. Smith is pretty easy.com. And I have you know, I'm on YouTube. I started God put it on my heart earlier this year to start a channel, but I just kept my own channel. I just had a playlist. It's My View from God's Corner. And so it's been a great experience just getting those messages from him to how to serve my clients at a higher level. And so that's really my mission for next year is to bring in the coaching, but also how can we bring not our business to God, but how can we step in God's business for us? And that's my mission. So
Powerful. Powerful mission, powerful messaging, powerful woman, loving the embodiment. God bless you, Tonya.
well, that's where it is. Bold marketer, right? There we go. Thank you very much, Jay, for having me here.
Thank you. God bless you and God bless the United States of America. That is it. Tonya in